Hello, hello. 1, 2, 3, mic testing. Hope you guys can hear me. Oh, yeah, you can. So, that was John Carpenter from Halloween Theme Music, and welcome everybody. Sorry I'm late. As you guys know, I'm kind of stressed from the work, right? Has a bunch of things I have going on from work side, so a bunch of tasks as some delivery is coming. But I also have some good news. Now, even though I was late, so to make up to it, I'm going to cover a lot of good amount of stuff today, which includes basically pre-security careers inside. I can just share my screen to make it better for you guys to understand. So hopefully my screen is visible. Just refresh this path quickly. Uh, I bet. I just want to make sure. Okay. So yeah, as you guys can see, we wanted to cover junior penetration test certificate, right? We wanted to move towards that. So we first thing we had was pre-security. Pre-security, in this we covered the offensive and defensive, but today we'll cover careers in cyber so that you know which part to take, right? Because there are so many things that are going on in cybersecurity, and we have to like go and move forward in sense of like what which part to take, right? Like if you're a doctor, do you want to be a surgeon? If you are, let's say, you want to be a surgeon, general practitioner, what you want to do. Then we will also cover the whole network fundamentals one. What that will do, help us build a good so one sec. I want to make sure you guys can see me, hear me, and see the messages. Okay, yeah. I'll just make this go a bit up so it's easy to see. Okay, beautiful. Yes, as I was saying, we will cover the networking fundamentals, in which what is networking, land area network, basically how your home and a system in your home, how the Wi-Fi and all these things work. Then we have OSI model. So we'll cover all these things. And if I have energy left, we will cover how the web works, which is a very important one. This will help you understand how the websites work, how everything else works, to move and go towards a bug bounty, like the most great paying. And if you learn bug bounty, it's like a great career to have. So with that being said, let's get into our careers in cybersecurity. Right, resume from here. Careers in cybersecurity. Learn about different careers in cybersecurity. First, we have cybersecurity careers. Let me make it big. Cybersecurity careers are becoming more in demand and offer high salaries. Yo, howdy, brother. How are you? Sola, how you doing, brother? God bless you too. I love it. I love to hear this. I love when faith comes in. Gives me power, gives me strength. Feels like so good, beautiful. Thank you. Thank you for the message, and God bless you too. That's beautiful. I love it. I love it. So, hopefully you enjoy cybersecurity, and we will join towards this certificate, which is very gaining some good trends nowadays. And we were talking about cybersecurity careers, right? If we go in the high salary, this statistics they provide here is okay, but it is not that good in terms of, because it's giving a general idea and all those things, and which is doesn't work all the time. Was that? I have to scroll this one. Come. Sorry, on my computer for some reason this is kind of slow. Okay, here. I'm doing good. How are you? And truly thank you for this tutorial. I appreciate it. I'm working towards CEH currently. Oh, nice. CEH is a great one. I really that's a really good a certificate to choose for sure. I'm doing good too. Thank you so much. Yeah, we will cover some really good things today, like touching some fundamentals and stuff. So it will be, hopefully it is very helpful to you in your thing. And CEH is a great one. You know why? Because if you go on like LinkedIn and Indeed, for example, and you search for this certificate and see how many jobs are there, CEH is a good one. CH has been like kind of a CEH and OSCP have been kind of like a good gold standard, you can say, when it comes to cybersecurity jobs a lot. So it's a great certificate. Go for it, buddy. Good stuff. Yes, and with this, you will be able to see which one to take, right? With penetration testing. Even in penetration red team, you have so many options, right? So there are many different jobs within the security industry. From offensive pen testing, hacking machines, and reporting on vulnerabilities to defensive security, depending against and investigating cyber attacks. Why get a career in cyber? Sir? Bro, what website is that for the CEA jobs? That is amazing. Oh, indeed. Let me send you the link, bro. Here. This is a really good website, I will say. I really like it personally. Indeed.ca, Indeed. This is the Canadian version because in Canada, right? But there is also LinkedIn is a good one, but I really like Indeed because this one is mostly for jobs. Oh, no worries. I like it. Like, I'll be honest with you, right? I was looking through some of the statistics. The more messages you do, the better YouTube shows my video in terms of search. So every time you guys message, it's a very important, and I'm very thankful for every single message. So don't worry. And thank you. Awesome. So let's get into this one, right? Why get a career in cyber? Because it's high paying. Yeah, it's kind of high paying. I will say it's nowadays it's pretty same as developer. I will say exciting indeed. If you like it, this is your passion. All amazing. In demand. In demand. I will give you a reality check about this. There is always a need for cybersecurity, but also if you look at one of the podcasts I did, Delusion, basically episode 1 and 2, I got somebody with more than 2 decades of experience, right? Ben did, and he mentions even like which was also very easy to see that cybersecurity is one of the jobs which is always the first one to cut because security is never shareholders or these management's first priority, right? It's never. So there is demand all the time, but are they hiring or those are ghost ones? That's one, but great one. If you are actually want to practice cybersecurity and if you're doing CEH, I would highly recommend this one. To test your game in real world, HackerOne. HackerOne is amazing website for you to even like touch on bug bounty and understand what's going on and things like that. And you can like go in here, let's say platform bug bounty, right? You will get a good amount of information on what bug bounty is. You can create your account and start hacking legally, and you can test your CEH or like even once we cover this. I believe once we cover good amount of stuff, I would love to show you bug bounty in real life by hacking, let's say, even finding small bugs, but finding them. That's the important part, and keep going with different mindsets. So check this out. HackerOne is big, and they have a lot of good playlists on what's it called, YouTube. So do check those out. Amazing stuff. This room helps you break into cybersecurity by providing information about various cyber security roles. It also links to different learning platforms that you can use to start building your cyber skills. Great stuff, and it's a really beautiful website. And Sola, do you know about like TryHackMe or Hack the Box? Do you practice on those for your CEH? So till then, yeah, but this is because TryHackMe would be a great one, including VulnHub and Hack the Box. If you are preparing for CEH or OSCP and stuff, right now we are preparing for PT1. Because a lot of people mentioned to me in the Discord server, right? Like, hey, they don't know anything. So this is a great way to start. You will get a clarity in so many ways for anyone who is like new or even just want to know more in fundamentals perspective. I do try hack me. I'm actually on the part of making what I'm going to PD. Oh, nice! That's awesome. Let's do it together. Spending 3-4 hours every day, or 2-3 hours at least every day, Monday to Friday, will hit a home run soon. And beautiful part is we'll do together. We can ask each other questions, right? Because I will also be stuck on so many places, so we can hack together. It'll be amazing. I love that. I love that. And then with the careers, right, we can decide what will work best, right? For example, this security analyst one. Security analyst is responsible for maintaining the security of an organization's data. Security analysts are integral to constructing security measures across organizations to protect company from attacks. Analysts explore and evaluate companies' networks to uncover actionable data and recommendations from engineers to develop preventive measures. This job role requires working with various stakeholders to gain an understanding of security requirements and the security landscape, right? Responsibilities: working with various stakeholders to analyze the cybersecurity throughout the company, compile. Basically, in this one, stakeholders are a very important term if you are going in cybersecurity, because you will be talking to a lot of stakeholders, which include clients, all the employees working together. Most importantly, the management who have like shares in the company or the ownership. So basically, that covers. But most important is the management. To analyze cybersecurity throughout the company, compile ongoing reports about safety of the network, documenting security issues, measures. So basically, like what you think of when you're thinking of like a defense guy, right? Develop security plans, incorporating research on new attack tools and trends, measure needed across teams to maintain data security. Important thing, I will tell you this: a bunch of people, if you're going, this should be your first job role, or this should be, you should be attacking instead. I know a lot of people look for penetration testing. Don't want to like give you the wrong hope. I want to tell you, to be realistic, there are more jobs for defense for the blue team than the red team, honestly. As a contractor, yes, red team has a lot more stuff as a contractor, but as jobs perspective, there is business side, there is job side. Business penetration testers are big, including, let's say, what's this called, response, incident response people, big numbers, big money for contractors. But defense side, the one you see, there are more jobs in this sector of defense. So that's why. And my suggestion, I gave it to a friend too, and it worked great for him. Apply every job, and then think. Give the job interview, just apply. Give the job interview. Forget about failing or not. Just do it. And once you have the, let's say, the job offer, then make the decision. Don't make it whether I want to work for this, want to do this job or not, before even going to for the interview. So with that, let's see. Learning paths, right? TryHackMe's learning path will give you both fundamental technical knowledge and hands-on experience. So pre-security, we will cover security 101 next, and SOC level 1. And SOC, they have a SOC level 1, what's this called? Certificate also, which I've heard good things about. So that's pretty good. Becoming a cybersecurity analyst, how to become a level 1 SOC analyst, because in SOC, right? I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Canadian, I hate Canadian healthcare system, by the way, but just to give you an idea how things work, because it's like very overwhelmed, the infrastructure is not good, but a good thing is, let's say when you go to a emergency ward, right, and you enter, they will ask you what is your issue you are facing, right? And based on that, they will give you, let's say, level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Based on that, not based on first come, first serve, but based on like what is the level of seriousness. For example, somebody is not able to breathe, somebody is having heart issues, versus somebody, let's say, hey, I'm not feeling well, or like I hurt my ankle, right? So ankle 1 will probably go here, but heart problems will go here. So those type of things. That's the same level when it comes to SOC, which is the defense side. Let's say if you are, let's say somebody did a wrong username password, right? username and password issues. Let me make it like here. So if we do username and password, right, is wrong, you hardly you don't care much about those stuff, right? Those are level 1 or level 2. But let's say somebody was able to get SSH login into your servers from a unknown place, or let's say a breach happened of your customers data, that will be high level. So you start from level 1. That's what it means here. A day in life of SOC analyst. Best is to watch YouTube videos. Those are amazing. The ultimate SOC level 1 analysis. So a bunch of good things you can see here. Now, security engineer. This is actually, I want to tell you, this is what I did got an offer for, but I didn't go for it. This one and malware analyst. Design, monitor, and maintain security controls, networks, and system to help prevent cyber attacks. Security engineers develop and implement security solutions using threats and vulnerability data, often sourced from members of the security workforce. Security engineers work across circumventing a breadth of attacks, including web application attacks, network threats, and evolving trends and tactics. So, evolving trends and tactics, you can, if you are following news channels, right, on news, you will see all the time, okay, this virus has started hitting some places. For example, recent one will be Medusa. This one was in what's this called, in news recently, right? You guys can see 2024, a bunch of places like it was coming, and certain businesses in Canada were hit by this. The ultimate goal is to retain and adopt security measures and to mitigate the risk of attack and data loss. Responsible for testing and screening security measures across software, so testing, quality assurance. Monitor networks and reports to update system and mitigate vulnerabilities. SOC, right? Identify and implement system needed for optimal security. This is the hardest thing you will see. Again, same thing I will say, for if you want to go for this part, SOC level 1, junior penetration tester, which we have covered some part, we will be covering more. Offensive penetration testing. Ooh, I like that. And relative career guides, becoming all these great things. Do give them a read. This one, incident responder, is kind of one I really like, and I want to give you guys a quick idea because I've seen someone and that guy sold me to this. This person identifies and mitigates attacks whilst an attacker operations are still unfolding. So as the attack is happening, this guy is called in and told to, okay, help us. Why I know this one, right? And let me tell you the story first, is then you will understand why the guy sold me. So this guy, he makes, right, more than 250K a year as a contractor. Guy is independent, no job, it's his business. As two people, both make like $500,000 a year, right? What he has is a 3-day, a 5-day, and a 7-day, if I'm not wrong, suitcase. Why? What this suitcase has? Everything a person needs to like stay, right? So if let's say somebody calls him, which somebody operation happened in America. This guy lives in Canada, right? Operation happened in he took a 3-day bag. A private jet came to get him, and he's gone. Within just couple of hours, private jet came, guy gone. Same with 5 days, 7 day, depending on, they will tell you, okay, how many days needed, gone. I was like, that's actually pretty cool. Like if you are getting a private jet to pick you up. Oh, Panda, what's up? How you doing? Oh, you can't type on YouTube. Why is that? Is anybody else can you guys type on YouTube? Oh, okay, thank you. Thank you, thank you. Thank you, Panda. Nice to hear from you. I think you have to subscribe probably to type. That's probably it. Test if you have to subscribe or not. Till then, let's So I just want to give you that idea, and let's now understand what incident responders do. Incident responders respond productively and efficiently to security breaches. Responsibilities include creating plans, policies, and protocols for organization to enact during and following the incidents. It is often a highly pressurized situation with assessments and responses required in real time as attackers or attacks are unfolding. Incident response metrics include MTTD, which is mean time to detect, is the average time it takes for an organization to identify security threat, incident, or a technical problem. MTTA, mean time to acknowledge, basically when you acknowledge, right, that there is an attack happening, initial alerts and services provide taking action. And MTTR, the mean time to respond, is the average time between initial alert and response to it, basically malware removal, password reset, and all those things. This takes most time, honestly, because users, you have to tell them, you have to like force them, right? Oh, you did subscribe. Oh, I see. Interesting. Can anybody else say, can you guys type too? Like, can anybody confirm this? Say hello or something? Till then, let's move here. The mean time to detect, acknowledge, and recover from attacks. The aim is to achieve a swift and effective response, retain financial standing, and avoid negative breach implications. Ultimately, incident responders protect the company's data, reputation, and financial standing from cyber attacks. What does that mean? Let's say if you are attacked with a ransomware, you have to negotiating with the attackers, right, and making sure like there is no a lot of loss of financial standing in terms. Let's say if they're asking for 10 mil, try to make it half or even 1 mil, right? All those type of things. Responsibilities: developing and adopting a thorough, actionable incident response plan, maintaining strong security best practices, and supporting incident response measures. Post incident reporting and preparation for future attacks, considering learnings and adaptations to take from incidents. Bingo. So basically, this is the very high pressure one, that is for sure. Is the company is going down, right, as we speak. What's that, bro? Yes, sir. DFIR. Yep. Digital forensic and incident response is dope. How long have you been into this stuff, man? It's actually a good question. I've been into like this proper cybersecurity for a year and a half, like properly doing TryHackMe and all those stuff. But I touched cybersecurity when during my university times in and out, but focused more like specifically for a year and a half, I will say, and streaming half a year. It's just fun. I just love teaching people because I was like, yo, this is a great knowledge. I don't know if some people might need some help understanding or accessing some stuff. So there we go. So TryHackMe's learning paths will give you both the fundamental technical knowledge and hands-on experience, which is crucial for becoming a successful incident responder. So here we have SOC level 1, right? Read about the incident responders stuff. That's good. So we have here digital forensic. So, Sola, let me ask you this question. What is your career path? Which one you would like to do in future? What is like couple of, maybe if not one, maybe like two or three. What will be your top three one? And I joined your Discord. This is dope, man. Oh, thank you, bro. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, I want to build a community where education is free, especially when it comes to cybersecurity. So hopefully together we build one. It'll be nice. It'll be dope. Indeed. So, digital forensic examiner, responsible for using digital forensics to investigate incidents and crimes. What digital forensics are, right? If I explain to you in a Netflix series way, right? When a crime happens, right? There are people taking pictures, there are people taking like samples of the footprints or fingerprints and stuff like that to you collecting that data to examine later and see if we can get a fingerprint match or whatever to all the people that are connected to the deceased person or the corpse. That same idea here, but in terms of, let's say, fingerprints, we are collecting logs. In terms of like let's say footprints or other stuff, we are collecting like actions that were performed, how the person got in, right? Like if you examine let's say a murder has happened or a what's this called, a robbery has happened, which way they came through in computers, which will be how they logged in or which path they used to get access to the system. Same idea, right? But in a digital manner. If you like to play detective, Sherlock Holmes, mine is Detective Conan, honestly, the best ever detective. This might be the perfect job. If you're working, was that, let's see. I plan to be a pen tester, but I plan to get an EJSV cert, then CEH. E certification takes 3 to 5 months to get if you study 4 hours a day, but if you study 2 hours a day, it can take 5 to 8 months. Yeah, yeah. But I think like most importantly, right, staying consistent and hopefully like I will say this: if you clear even one cert, right? Somebody gave a really good plan. I think I forgot. So if you are looking into these, right, I will say this: go for PT1 first, because if you go online, right, there are a lot of people who have taken a bunch of certification, right? The level they gave, right? This is, let's say, beginner to advanced. So what I got the idea is that PT1 is better for person who is taking like exam for the first time. OSCP is the hardest. And again, this is like the gold standard for getting the jobs, right? And in between, we have, let's say, EJPT, CEH, and stuff. So if you are like, if you haven't taken any cert yet, or you haven't paid for any, or like anything is like on, what's this called, expiry, go for the PT1 first. And a great one, let's say PT1 versus OSCP versus CPHT. This one. Have a look at this. I will post this link. This is more of an AI generated one, I believe. I don't know. But this gives you a good idea on how things are. Hopefully this is helpful, bro. Dhaval, what's up, brother? Long time no see. How you doing? How you doing, my man? Yo, as you were gone, right? We worked on a couple of things. I know you wanted me to do the what's this called, Linux privilege escalation. We did covered some part of it with shells, SOCAT, and stuff. But I got the request from some people to work towards the penetration testing PT1 certification. So hopefully you don't mind. If you want, we can cover some more stuff on the Linux privilege escalation soon. But yeah, I don't know if you are into or if you have heard about the PT1 certificate. Let's chat. We can chat more even in the Discord to plan further. So yeah, as I was saying, here we have, if you'd like to play detective, this might be the perfect job. If you are working as a part of a law enforcement department, you would be focused on collecting and analyzing evidence to help solve crimes. A good example for this would be a fun, easy to understand example. A good movie will be Catch Me If You Can, because that's financial fraud happening. But now finances, a lot of them are moving towards digital. So you will understand, okay, how things are being done. And you might be part of like cyber financial crime unit where people are able to steal credit card information or password and login for banks or cryptos and all those stuff. There actually happened. To millionaire SIM swap. I don't know if you guys know about SimSwap, but a beautiful, this one, $24 million worth of Bitcoin lost in a sim swap attack. Do have a look at these type of thing. I haven't watched this video. Probably will watch this video. Oh yeah, Michael Turpin. That's the guy. This guy lost almost $24 million worth of crypto because of a very easy hack to do and implement, and 26 million, very easy hack to do, and it wasn't even him who did something wrong. We will watch this video. I will keep it here. So yeah, that's one example. So charging the guilty and exonerating, basically helping the innocent. On the other hand, if your work falls under defending a company's network, you will be using your forensic skills to analyze incidents such as policy violations. Responsibilities: collect digital evidences or evidence while observing legal procedures, analyze digital evidence to find answers to the related case, document your findings and report to the case. Basically, a detective stuff. Malware analysis. This is a very fun one, and as I was saying, I was given an opportunity by one of the top, I will say top three, if not top five, at 100% top three companies. Job as a malware analyst. Didn't take it for some personal reasons, but it's amazing. It's amazing, I will tell you. So, analysis or analyzes all types of malwares to learn more about how they work and what they do. If you want to like look at a great person, right, who you can follow, Malware Tech. I know so many people's name. Malware Tech, Marcus Hedgkins. This guy is the one behind solving WannaCry attack. WannaCry that led to like billions of dollars worth of loss by North Korea. So here, known for discovering WannaCry kill switch, right? So this is a good one to look for. And I'll give you guys the name here. What's that, bro? I'm feeling a bit okay right now. I'll meet you on stream tomorrow and we'll continue. Oh, okay. Sounds good, bro. 100%. And you can even text me like whenever you want, right? Based on if I'm not sleeping and stuff. I'm mostly on computer. Just text me if you would like to have a chat, anything, right? I'm happy to help you in any way possible. I'm looking forward to as well to chatting. Okay. A malware analyst work involves analyzing suspicious programs, discovering what they do, and writing reports about their findings. A malware analyst is sometimes called a reverse engineer, as their core task revolves around converting compiled programs from machine language to readable code. What is machine language? Zeros and ones. What your all your code, when you let's say write in Python and stuff, it gets compiled and converted into machine understandable language, the machine code, zeros and one. And as a malware analyst, reverse engineer, you use softwares like IDA Pro. If I go here, to understand assembly, right? Assembly code, because that's the max it can reach to. Using that, you are able to you need to find what is happening, what this malware is trying to do, and then help protect your computer from it. Usually in a low level language to readable code, that's assembly. Low level language. And why it is low? If somebody tells you low and high, here are humans. Think of it as a chart of like, like when we are doing food chain chart, whatever, triangle. Here is humans, there are computers. The more we move towards computers, right, the more hard it is to read for a human. And the more we go from computer to human, easier it is. So here you will be like English. Here you will have something like Python. And then here you will have assembly. Assembly code is, if you are crazy like me, you will like it. It's hard. It's sometimes it's just you want to, like I punched the wall, I hurt myself, but it's amazing in some ways. And then here it is machine code, which is zeros and one. So high, this is high, right? High level, this is low level. That's what it means here, that it converts from machine language to readable code. This is cool, awesome. Thanks, bro. This work requires, I love hearing these messages, so thank you so much. This work requires the malware analyst to have a strong programming background, especially in low level languages such as assembly language and C language. The ultimate goal is to learn about all the activities that a malicious program carries out, find out how to detect it and report it. An important thing, if you are actually want to learn about technology, or like you want to start programming, and if you are doing the first time, the first language you want to do should be C or C++. Do not start with Python. Java is also good, but I will prefer C, C++. Mine starts from C++, builds a beautiful, strong foundation. Responsibilities carry out static analysis of malicious programs, which entails reverse engineering, conduct dynamic analysis of malware samples. So, static analysis, let's say if I'm given a code, right, I'm looking through the lines of code to see what it does. Dynamic analysis, okay, while a virus is doing its deeds, while it is actually doing the hacking, then see what's going on. Document and report all your findings, right? And malware analysts, to let you know, these are the people behind your antivirus. Because what they do, they will create something called signatures of these viruses to tell the antivirus system, hey, if you find a file with this signature, flag it, right? And then there are anti-malware system, which are dynamic one, which are analyzing not your files, but things that are running in your memory. There are two things, storage and there is memory. A lot of people don't know the difference, but storage, it's okay. It's very same words, right? Storage is your SSD. SSD or HDD. This is, let's say, your 2 terabytes of data and all those, right? Memory is your RAM, random access memory. This is your, let's say, your memory cards is, let's say, whenever we say, okay, it has how much memory, it has 8 GB RAM, memory. And if we go, let's say, to Apple MacBook, let's go here. If you see here, hard disk size 512 GB. Hard disk size 512 GB. Oh, RAM memory? What? That's a big one. No, that doesn't sound right. MacBook Pro. Okay, here. I was like, that's the worst example. It's not, they didn't give it right. See here. There are MacBooks, right? 24 GB memory, 512 GB storage. 48 GB memory, 512 GB storage. 36, 1 terabyte. Important thing to know, right? If you are running your AI, next AI, big AI app in your system, you need storage for the data you might be analyzing and stuff. But to run the LLM, the large language model, you need a lot of memory and a good amount of GPU and CPU. So hopefully that makes sense. And let's move forward with the penetration tester. That's for you, buddy. Sola, that's for you, bro. Responsible for testing technology products for security loopholes. I like that. But yeah, these are the peoples you see as like Mr. Robot or like hackers, like in real life, who say, okay, I'm in. They are the people who say I'm in, right? Yes, sir. Hell yeah, bro. You see penetration testing referred to as as pen testing or ethical hacking, a penetration tester's role is to test the security of the systems and software within a company. This is achieved through attempts to uncover flaws and vulnerabilities through systemized hacking. Penetration testers exploit these vulnerabilities to evaluate the risk in each instance. So let's say if you created like the best car in the world, right? There has to be someone who is testing, okay, how the gears changing work, how speed work, right? The engine is not failing, airbags are working, stuff like that. Same with computers. You need to make sure, let's say if somebody is using facebook.com, some hacker is not able to access their password, is not able to just change their or take over their account or do something wrong to the clients, right? That's penetration tester's job. The company can take these insights to rectify issues to prevent real world cyber attacks. Another thing, just to explain, right? Let's say if this is a cop and a thief, right, chase going on, the ethical hacker, as you see, ethical, right? He's like, he plays the bad guy's role, right, to find the vulnerabilities and then tell the company, okay, these are the problems. Basically, in nutshell. Responsibilities: conduct tests on computer system, networks, and web-based application like bug bounty hunters. Perform security assessment audits and analyze policies, right? This one you might know, ISO 27001. If you are that invigilator even, this, I don't know if you guys know about this, it's big. Especially if you are going for startups or big companies, right? All of them like this. It's like a gold standard to tell, okay, my system, my things are good, right? And there are jobs related to this as well. A good paying jobs too, right? So, evaluate and report on insights, recommending actions for attack preventions, right? Report on insights, recommending actions to attack prevention, so basically telling the company, hey, patch these softwares. Learning paths, we have from TryHackMe, we have junior penetration tester and offensive penetration testing, and some of the guides they have given on how to become a penetration tester, from IT support to pen testers, right? Some people who did it. So good, inspiring things, honestly. Red teamer. Here is the interesting thing. I don't know if you guys understand Venn diagram. Hey brother, I have to go cook some food, but God bless you all and have a great night. God bless you too, brother. I'll see you tomorrow. And thank you so much for joining. Tomorrow we'll do a bit earlier, right? Which is actually the right time. I will do around 8 p.m. PST and we'll go again for 3-4 hours and cover more. Okay, but thank you so much. God bless you. And thank you so much for watching. Love you. Love you. Alrighty. So now, and thank you honestly for all the chats and all the messages, right, on blessings. Thank you. Okay, I was just saying, right, Venn diagram, right? There is a superset of a set, right? Your penetration testing job, right, is part of the red team. Just like I was saying, in case of the blue one, right, the blue team, blue team has like SOC, security engineer, stuff like that. Same, that's how things work. And there is, of course, there is like a overlap between these two guys. There is kind of a overlap here. And this is called the purple team. But if you mix red and blue, right, you will get purple. Simple idea. This guy plays the role of the adversary, bad cop, good cop, bad cop role, right? Attacking an organization and providing feedback from an enemy's perspective. So to catch a thief, you have to think like a thief. Simple. Red teamers share similarities to penetration testers with a more targeted job role. Penetration testers look to uncover many vulnerabilities across systems to keep cyber defense in good standing. This is your ISO 2700 invigilators as well. Whilst red teamers are enacted to test the company's detection and response capabilities, this job role requires imitating cyber criminal actions, emulating malicious attacks, retaining access, and avoiding detection. Red team assessment can run up to a month. Typically, a team external to the company. That's why these are majority of these people are contractors, because you're not 24/7 trying to hack. Attackers are doing that. You conduct a proper security check by a really good professional with really good experience. Tell them, hey, hack it. They will do that job, and over a couple of months, this what's this called? The blue team people will patch it, developers will patch those things, right? So it takes time. They are often best suited to organization with mature security programs in place, like Microsoft and all those. Those people afford so high level security professional. Responsibilities: emulate the role of a threat actor to uncover exploitable vulnerabilities, maintain access and avoid detection, assess organization security controls, threat intelligence, and incident response procedures, evaluate and report on insights with actionable data for companies to avoid real world instances. Learning paths: again, we have red teamer, offensive penetration, junior penetration tester. This one, I would love if you guys participate, right? In this one, we have a site. This room is provided to you with a general overview of different careers in cybersecurity. Don't forget that you can leverage online training to land your dream job in cybersecurity. This one is TryHackMe, right? Online training for careers. So, a good one. And oh, let me post it for you guys. You guys can check it out for your career and understanding the stuff. And now we have here. To find out which cybersecurity role suits best, try out fun quiz, which can access the clicking website button, right? By clicking this website button. I would love, like, as if somebody can like come with me and do this. So I'll read the stuff and you guys give me the answer. How about that? So if I was stranded on an island, the first thing I would do is try and build a raft home, scope the landscape for potential threats, gather food and plan next steps. Find a way to send an SOS, basically save our soul, and build a secure shelter. Let me actually, you guys probably can't see. I'm just doing this guy because I know you guys probably can't see me right now properly. Okay, so here, hopefully you guys can see at least the screen now. Build a secure shelter to prevent potential attacks. I would like to know what would be your guys' answer. I'll just drink some water till then. Any answers from the audience? The potential, the promising newcomers in the cybersecurity field. What would be your one? Like one, just type 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whichever you guys like, and I will go forward towards that. And because personally, for me, I will rather gather food because I don't like raft can take time. SOS messages, yeah, that's also good one. Gather food is good one. Shelter, all those things can come later, I will say. Because food is important, right? I think finding food is important, and I have a big tummy. So let's do this maybe, if you guys are okay. Now, in the spare time, I like to tinker with new technologies and understand how it works. Watch crime solving TV shows, which I believe a bunch of you will have. Netflix, right? Keep steady by learning something new. Find geocaches in my neighborhood, right? Like trees, new, like with summer and winter, things are different, right? Upkeep and maintain my home through DIY projects. I hardly maintain my room. I hardly go out. I like one or two. Watching crime solving TV shows is pretty fun. And tinker with new technologies and understand how it works. I will go with first one. I like it. If I could be a fictional celebrity dinner, if I could buy a fictional celebrity dinner, it would be Tony Stark from Iron Man, Sherlock Holmes, Yoda Star Wars, Bruce Wayne Batman, Walter White Breaking Bad. What I actually need to look Star Wars. I haven't watched Star Wars, or I haven't watched Breaking Bad either, so I don't know about those characters. I would really like. Who should it be? Not Sherlock Holmes. I would rather like Tony or Batman. Batman. I would rather go with Tony, just because there is like multiverse is pretty interesting concept. My favorite game is battleships, Cluedo, chess is good. Hide and seek is also fun, and risk. So what which one should I go for? Any idea, lads? Cluedo, I have no idea. Battleships, I think maybe I know that game a little bit. But chess is a good one, and hide and seek. I haven't played hide and seek in a long time, so let's do that. I'm best described curious, calm under pressure, strategical, mischievous, practical, strategical, curious, mischievous. I like mischievous things. I like it. Favorite movie? Haven't watched any, so I don't know. Maybe this one. Jurassic Park actually I watched, so I'll take this. Okay, I guess I'm a penetration tester, lads. Okay, cool. So with that being done, let's complete this room and go to the next. So we have our this room completed. Okay. Let's go to the next one. Networking fundamentals. This is where technology starts, right? And I hope you have your pen and paper ready. And let me share my face again. I hope you guys have your pen and paper ready. Make sure you keep making notes as things go. So with that, what is networking? Networks are simply things connected. Like your Internet of Things, your internet, your phone is connecting, right? That is basically networking. For example, I think this should be good. For example, your friendship circle. You are all connected because of similar interests, hobbies, skills, and other sorts. Networks can be found in all walks of life. A city's public transportation system, infrastructure such as national power grid of electricity, your highways and stuff, right? Your railways, meeting and greeting your neighborhood, postal system for sending letters and parcels. Even your food, that's it, a network of like distributors and suppliers. That's how you get it, right? For more specifically, but more specifically in computing, networking is the same idea, just dispersed to technical devices. Take your phone as an example. The reason that you have it is to access things. We'll cover how these devices communicate with each other and the rules that follow. In computing, a network can be found by anywhere from two devices to billions. Even just Java has, like, I believe now 4 billion, or more than 3 for sure, but 4 billion devices now. These devices include connecting everything from your laptop and phone to security cameras, traffic lights, and even farming. Your sensors while you have if you are doing farming, right? Networks are integrated into our everyday life, be it gathering data from the weather, delivering electricity to homes, or even determining who has the right of way at road. Because networks are so embedded in the modern day, networking is an essential concept to grasp in cybersecurity. Take the diagram below as an example. Alice, Bob, and Jim have informed their network. We'll come on to this in a bit later. So basically, Alice, Bob, and Jim, three people, are able to talk to each other through letters, right? Networks come in all shapes and sizes, which is something that we will also come on to discuss through this module. So let's join this room. And what is a key term for devices that are connected together? Pretty simple, right? I believe you guys know the answer. Just type it out. For now, I'll just go forward with it. Okay, the network, right? What is the internet? Now that we have learned what a network is and how one is defined in computing, just devices connected, let's explore the internet. We know about network, let's understand internet. The internet is one giant network that consists of many small networks within itself. Using our example from the previous task, let's now imagine that Alice made some new friends named Zahin and Toby that we want to introduce to Jim and Bob. The problem is that Alice is the only person who speaks the same language as Zen and Toby, so Alice has to be the messenger. So basically, let's say Zayn and Toby are French people, they can only speak in French. Whereas Bob and Jim are in English along with Alice. Alice is bilingual. So she becomes like kind of a postman or something like that, right? A connector or a bridge between these lads. Because Alice can speak both languages, they can communicate to each other through Alice, forming a new network. The first iteration of the internet was within the ARPANET project in the late 1960s. This was by the US Education and Defense Department. So the first iteration of internet, right? ARPANET. The project was funded by US Defense Department and was documented network in action. First documented network in action. However, it wasn't till 1989 when Sir Tim Berners-Lee, where the internet as we know it was invented by Sir Tim Berners-Lee. He is a sir actually. He's given that title by creation of World Wide Web. It wasn't until this point that the internet started to be used as repository for storing and sharing information just like it today. And just one interesting thing I want to show you, there is a website called Archive or Internet Archive. This website to see how old websites used to look. For example, let's say if I want to see how Google or Facebook used to look, I can just type my facebook.com here and you see how it used to be. I can just go up and see how it looked in 1999 or this time, because probably when it wasn't even under Mark Zuckerberg. Let's see, do I have a... Okay. So how it looked in 2020 about the face. So it used to go like that. Now, let's see when Mark Zuckerberg got it. This is basically an archive of all the things, all the websites in the world. A great way to see. Okay, maybe let's look at here. It's giving you the timestamp as well. So if it was taking multiple snapshots in a day. Okay, this is how the Facebook used to look. Email, password, login, register, secure, standard. Online data that connects people to social network. Pretty cool, right? Like this is how the world used to be. You can do that with any website. And you can find a lot of other things too, not just websites. You can find in any deleted videos that are like the government don't want you to see or anything like that. So here. Now let's go back to what as internet as we know. And another interesting thing about 1989 Sir Tim Berners-Lee, it used a computer by Steve Jobs, but it wasn't Apple. Steve Jobs was thrown out and he actually started a new company called Next, and using Next's computer, Sir Tim Berners-Lee formed the World Wide Web. Interesting things to look into. Let's relate Alice's network of friends in computing devices. The internet looks like a much larger version of this sort of diagram, right? So we have network 1, which is, let's say, of Bob. Network 3 is of Jim. And then internet is, like this might be Alice, right? Or the internet might be Alice. Alice is more likely to be the internet, and French people who are talking, Zen and Toby, are network 2. As previously stated, the internet is made up of small networks all joined together. So if you see one small network here, network 1 will be your home, network 2 my home, and network 3 will be like Twitch and YouTube's servers. Everything is just connected. These small networks are called private networks, where networks connecting these small networks are called public networks or the internet. So to recap, a network can be one of two types: a private network or a public network. Devices will use a set of labels to identify themselves on a network, which will come onto in the task below. So who invented World Wide Web, right? Sir Tim Berners-Lee, but they want us to type just Tim Berners-Lee. I think that's how you type. No. Burners, not banners. I should watch less cartoons. Burners. Okay, let's move forward. Identifying devices on a network. One second, let me just drink some water quickly. That's been speaking for so long. Identifying devices on a network. To communicate and maintain order, devices must be both identifying and identifiable on a network. So basically, if you want to talk to someone, you have to be able to find the person, and the other person should also be able to find you, right? You can't be just like standing at the top of a building, 100 floors up, looking at people and wondering why they're not talking to you. Both have to be in a proper distance. What use is it if you don't know whom you are talking to at the end of the day? Devices on a network are very similar to humans in the fact that we have two ways of being identified: our name or fingerprints. Now we can change our name through a deed poll, but we can't, however, wait. Now we can change our name through deed poll, but we can't, however, change our fingerprints. Yes. Every human has an individual set of fingerprints, which means that even if they change their name, there is still an identity behind it. Devices have the same thing. Two means of verification, which one being permeable. These are an IP address or a MAC address. MAC address is connected on, or it's like hard coded on your system. Think of this as similar to a serial number. This can't be changed. IP addresses. Briefly, an IP address or an internet protocol address can be used as a way to identifying a host on a network. This is basically your address. If internet is like street, like if your computer is like a home and internet is like streets and all the networks, IP address is the address of your home, or IP address is the address of your computer on internet. That's all you have to understand. Where as a way of identifying a host on the network for a period of time, where that IP address can be used or it can be associated with another device without the IP address changing. Let's split up precisely what an IP address is in the diagram below. So octet 1234. Any IP address has this format. First octet, which can go from 0 to 255, right? Second octet, again same value. Third, again the same value. Like all, I mean, like it can be from 0 to 255, 0 to 255, 0 to 255. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's how your internet address goes, right? Just like you have in Oh, thank you so much for the follow, bro. Godlike 1968. Yeah, we are working towards certificate, penetration tester 1 certificate for TryHackMe. I don't know if you know TryHackMe. Basic as cybersecurity 1, and we are going from zero to hero. Like if I may, junior penetration tester certificate. We just covered like basics of what cybersecurity is, like careers in it. Now we are covering the networking part, very networking fundamental. So if you don't know much technology still, you can join along. How are you doing though? And do you have like a lot of knowledge of cybersecurity or in IT? And as I was saying here, right, there is 4 octets, all the values 0 to 225. That's the max. Oh, you're a mean developer. That's awesome. Or MERN, sorry, MERN. Nice. Bro, I love React. I love React. I have done some React work. I have done some Node work as well. So that's cool. That's awesome. So you are in the right place if you want to learn more about cybersecurity or touch some really different things, right? Yeah, and if you like hacking, basically, this is a great place to do. Hopefully, we'll both will get the certificate, right? So as I was saying, right, IP address is basically the your device address on the internet. The value of each octet will summarize to be the IP address of the device on the network. So basically, when we have like these four, right, one, two, three, four octets, right, 4 places you can have an address. This is, think about it as your, let's say, home number, street name, city, and country, or straight a city and province, however, and country. Same ideology goes on the internet, and that's how they find where to send the traffic. This number is calculated through a technique known as IP addressing and subnetting, but that is for another day, right? What's important to understand here is that IP addresses can change from device to device but cannot be active simultaneously more than once within the same network. What it means, right? If your phone is connected to internet, right, it has a unique address in the world. When it goes off internet and you come back, it's like, hey, I left. You are staying in an apartment. You left and came back. You won't get the same apartment, right? It will change. It can change, or you can get the back. So address can change, but your MAC address, that will remain same. IP addresses follow a set of standards known as protocols. The protocols are the backbone of networking and force many devices to communicate in the same language. So to talk to basically a computer or another phone in the world, you need to talk on the same network, same language, just like we have VoIP, Voice over Internet Protocol. That's a protocol both need to allow, right? You cannot have VoIP in Nokia 3310, the old 2000 phones. They don't have that language, which is something that we will come on to another time. However, we should recall that devices can be both a private or a public network, depending on where they are will determine what type of IP address they have, a public or a private IP address, right? What that means is, let's say if in the world you have a whole home street address, right? But inside your house, you can have, let's say, or inside your apartment, you can have, okay, third floor, left wing, what's called, let's say, apartment number 23 or something like that, right? So two type of things are there inside when we are talking about private and public. A public address is used to identify a device on the internet, whereas a private address is used to identify a device amongst other devices. Take the table and screenshot below as an example. Here we have two devices on private network. So first we have, let's say, a desktop name. Let's say if it would be yours. IP address public. Private. Another one. This one is public. If you see 192, the one which starts with 192 is private. Other ones are public. And they have their MAC addresses as well. The two devices will be able to use their private IP addresses to communicate with each other. However, any data sent to the internet from either of the devices will be identified by same IP address. What that means is, if we go back to this image here, right, you see this whole network, the orange one, will have only one address on internet, same with blue and red. But inside, these two computers will have a different address, but together they represent one address. That's what it means here. The two devices will be able to use their private IP address to talk to each other. However, any data sent to the internet through either of the devices will be identified by the same public IP address. So that red or orange or blue IP address. Public IP addresses are given by the internet service provider. So for example, Jio, Shaw, Bell, AT&T, whichever you use for your internet service, at a monthly fee, basically your bill. Excuse me. As more and more devices become connected, it is becoming increasingly harder to get a public IP address that isn't already in use. Basically, if too many houses are there on planet Earth, we don't have enough space to give everybody an IP address. For example, Cisco, an industry giant in the world of networking, estimated that there would be approximately 50 billion devices connected on the internet by the end of 2021. So you know this room was written way before 2021. Enter IP address version. So far, we have only discussed one version of the IP address protocol addressing scheme, IPv4, because we have 4 of these, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. So IPv4, which uses a networking system 2 raised to the power 32 with some billion, so 4.29 billion. So you can see why this is such a why there is such a shortage. So we have 50 billion devices, but only 4.29 billion can have it, right? But we still if let's say a different protocol is not introduced, why this still is not that big of a system, or like the whole world didn't crash? Because if, let's say, if there are 3 systems like this, the 3 buildings, right? Like Google can have it here, right? All these. This will have one IP address which is public. This will have one IP address which is public. This will have one IP address that's public. Inside here, right, we can have, like, say 10, because it's your house, we can have 10 devices. All 10 will have like 10 different IP addresses. Private IP address, private IP, right? So this one IP address here, this one cover 10. Same thing with this can cover, let's say, 100, right? And so on and so on. That's called subnetting, and that's how, like, it didn't just, like, the whole world didn't end. But also another reason why the whole world didn't end was IPv6. A new protocol, a new language. This is a new iteration of the Internet Protocol addressing scheme to help tackle this issue. Although it is seemingly more daunting, it boasts a few benefits. It's supposed right, 2 power 128 of IP address. So 340 trillion plus addresses, resolving the issue faced by IPv4 more effective due to new methodologies. So IPv4 was like in 1980s, 70s. This one is way more new and faster. The screenshot below compares both an IPv4 and IPv6. So IPv6 a very long one. V4 the way I taught you. MAC addresses. Device, basically, this is not your MacBook, Apple one. This is your Mac is like regarding your network interface, your networking chip that you have in your computer. Devices on internet will have a physical network interface. It's an actual physical chip, which is a microchip board found on the device's motherboard. This network interface is assigned a unique address at the factory it was built, called a MAC address, media access control. The MAC address is 12 character hexadecimal. Hexadecimal you mean is like goes from 0 to 9, and after 9 it goes A B C D E F. Max it goes to F, so 15 total, or 16 actually. A base 16 numbering system used in networking to represent numbers split into two and separated by a colon. These colons are considered separators. For example, these one here, right? Hexadecimal, this is one set, second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth. The first six characters represent the company that made the network interface, and the last six is a unique number. Vendor who built the network interface in this instance. So basically, if you see this number, first three talks about the vendor. It could be Apple, Intel, Microsoft. Last three are actually inside that company what was the number given. However, so this one is Intel. This will be a Intel's like system, like a whatever. It could be interface. However, an interesting thing with MAC addresses is that they can be faked or spoofed in a process known as spoofing. So if I'm sending an address, I can change that before the internet, the packet, the protocol, or the message I'm sending goes to the internet. This spoofing occurs when a network device pretends to identify as another using MAC addresses. With this occurs, it can often break poorly implemented security design that assume that devices talking to on a network are trustworthy, right? Take the following scenario. A firewall is configured to allow any communication going to and from the MAC address of the administrator. So basically, let's say a server, a master server, a firewall is looking only at the MAC address. We can change that, and that can break the whole thing. If a device were to pretend or spoof this MAC address, the firewall will now think that it is receiving communication from the administrator when it isn't. So from outside, I can do that. Places such as cafes, coffee shops, and hotels alike often use MAC address control when using their guest or public Wi-Fi. This configuration could offer better services, that is faster communication for a price if you are willing to pay the fee per device. The interactive lab attached to this task has been made to replicate this scenario. So we'll do that. We'll do just now this one up here. So let's spoof or understand how this game goes. So practical, right? We have Bob, Alice. I'll hide myself because it will be easier for you guys to see. Okay, hopefully this is easier. And I can remove the chat for a second, the captions. Oh, wrong place I removed it from. My bad, lads. Okay. So, practical. The interactive lab simulates a hotel Wi-Fi network, right? The one we were talking, where coffee shops and cafes, right, have guest or public Wi-Fi. For basic faster communication, you guys can talk and get a price and stuff like that. So you will note that the router is allowing Bob's packets blue to the TryHackMe website and is placing them in the bin. but Alice green ones are going through fine because they are paid for Wi-Fi. Try changing Bob's MAC address to same as Alice to see what happens. Deploy the interactive lab and proceed to answer the following questions. So basically what is happening, we have Bob, right? It sends a request. These are going in the garbage. Alice 1 are going fine to TryHackMe. What a bunch of, I don't want to use a bad word, but you can think of one. So this Alice has IP address this one. Let's see if we can change this one to spoofing can be done. Now let's do that. Now let's see. Now all the blue ones are going and we got our flag. THM. And that's what happens in real life too. It's a very big real life problem. And so next time when you have a public Wi-Fi, they're asking you to pay, you can just spoof someone else's address by listening. Don't do it. I don't recommend it. I don't know if you do it. I am not responsible. I have to get the flag again. All good. So let's finish this one as soon as we do get it done. I've been speaking for like almost 1.5 hours, right? That's why my throat is gone. So when it goes here, you got on TryHackMe. Hopefully this time it is there, right? Awesome. So let's look at these answers, right? Do answer this right now with me, so it will be very helpful. I will love it. What does the term IP stand for, right? And I will enter this here. So we have this. Woohoo! What does the term IP stand for? IP stands for Internet Protocol. What is each section in IP address called? So basically, you know the 4 section we were talking about in IP? These one that with the maximum minimum value 0, maximum 255. What is this called? This is called, because there are octet, right? How many sections or basically in digit does an IP address have? How many basic how many octets are there, if we may, right? So as we know, it's 4. What the term MAC address stand for? MAC address is Media Access Control. Beautiful. Now let's talk about ping. This is a very important protocol, or this is a very interesting thing to use while you to see if you are able to connect to an internet or not through a system. Let me increase this. Ping is one of the most fundamental network tools available to us. Ping uses ICMP, Internet Control Message Protocol, packets to determine the performance of a connection between devices. For example, if the connection consists or exists or is reliable, the time taken, right? Basically, in this one, we want to see with this command if we are able to reach, let's say, google.com, right? So ping uses ICMP. It's a different protocol, Internet Control Message Protocol, to determine the performance of a connection. How good your internet connection is. This is the way to see. The time taken by for ICMP packets traveling between devices is measured by ping. So how much time it took for the google.com to load or facebook.com to load, such as in the screenshot below. This measuring is done using ICMP echo packets and then ICMP echo reply from the target device. Pings can be performed against devices on a network, such as your home network and resources like websites. This tool can be easily used and comes installed on operating systems like Linux and Windows. So we will try it right now and you can try it too. The syntax to do a simple ping is ping IP address or website URL like google.com, or IP address could be 8.8.8.8. Very common one. Let's see this in action in the screenshot below, and let me just share my screen face quickly. Okay, hopefully this is good. But you guys can't see the captions. Are there captions coming? Do you guys see the captions coming or no? Hello, hello. Okay, captions are not coming for some reason. Hello, hello, okay. Okay, I don't know what's happening. All good. We'll look at it later. But here's ping and the IP address, and you see the time taken 2.1 milliseconds, 10.3 milliseconds, and it gives you the average as well of this, of which is like 500, 5008 milliseconds, right? Oh, sorry, not average, the total. Probably, what is it? 6 packet transferred, 6 received, this time 5000, so how much time it took total, whatever. Average you can see RTT, minimum, max, average, maximum, and derivation. Here are a pinging. Here we are pinging a device that has the private IP address. Ping informs us that we have sent 6 IP packets, ICMP packets, all of which were received in an average of 4.16 milliseconds. Now you are going to do the same thing to ping the address 8.8.8.8. This is a very interesting thing too, because 8.8.8.8 actually is a Google IP address, right? For DNS name. So let's say if I put my website on, you guys get the IP address of my servers. Very interesting, right? I can even put like Facebook. The one I connect to, this is the server. Okay. On the deployable website in the stars, pinging the correct address will reveal a flag. So basically, in this case, we have to go to this website they have, and we have to ping 8.8.8. So ping, this is the command. -C means number of packets to send. I want to send 4, I can send 5 and stuff. But in this case, I can only send 4. And here I will type the IP address and send the request. You see, first one, this is 64 bytes, time 9.66 milliseconds, 7.30, 8.12, 9.76. And here's the time. And we should get our flag by now. Oh, here's the flag. THM, I pinged the server. So that's our flag here. What protocol does ping use? Ping use ICMP protocol. And great part would be, try to think if you can remember this. It's our Internet Control Message Protocol. What is the syntax to ping 10? So most important one is ping. Basically the basic one is ping and then the address. Right? But here -C and 4 is because like if we just don't put -C4, it will keep on going forever. Forever. Okay. Put this here. Now, let's look at this guy. Continue your learning to Introduction to LAN Network. Join Intro to LAN Network. Okay. So let's see what LAN Network room has for us. Okay, this will take forever to get done. Okay, room complete. Beautiful. We can see our achievement, share your achievement. And blah, blah, blah. Okay. So now let's go to Introduction to LAN Network. In this path, we are at PreSecurity. We have covered like intro to cybersecurity and just the what is networking. Let's see what intro to LAN has for us. So we have LAN, a primer on subnetting, ARP, DHCP, and continuing the OSI model. Now I want to ask you, how much time it has been since 1.5 hours. Okay, good. So, do you want to continue on this, or you guys are tired for the day? Is it like a lot of information to carry, or what? If not, then I can keep on going. Actually, I don't mind going for one more room at least. All depends on you, lads. All depends on you. Do you want me to cover intro to LAN? Sorry, yeah, intro to LAN. That's the one. LAN, if you want to understand, is basically your internet system, right? Or a very simple, like a local one in your house, in your office. That's called a LAN network. And let's just cover it, right? Let's just cover it so that tomorrow we can move towards OSI model, packets, extended, and probably start looking at the websites, how they do it, and move faster with our game. So, intro to LAN. Learn about some of the technologies and designs that power private networks. Private being your home one, private being your office one, or your company's organization or school. Those are private inside the system, right? And that's what we are going to see what technology is behind. Local area network topologies. Topology is basically, let's read this first and I will explain them later. One second, let me join this room, I guess. Yeah. Over the years, there has been experimentation and implementation of various network designs. In reference to networking, when we refer to the term topology, we actually referring to design or look of the network at hand. Let's discuss the advantages and disadvantages of topologies below. So basically, topology is when you have a multiple devices, right? Let's say you have multiple devices in your home, how they all should connect. What are the most optimal way they all should connect so that let's say if one fails, no, everybody should not be affected, and right, like if one node is gone, right? For example, if I had a network like this, red is devices, blue is the wire, right? To communicate. If let's say this part is gone, this device is not working anymore. So if let's give it A, this can be A, B, C, D, E, and F. If device F wants to talk to B, earlier they were probably going through this route. Now they have to go through this route, right? So if one fails, they all don't have to. But what if the D also fails? If the D also fails, then F and E can't talk to B and C. So in how we can create a network so that these situations, if happen, not the whole network, only the devices that have issues are not are the one affected, right? And let's say if I want to go for this one here, another one could be star. There is a single here point, and from here we are talking, everyone is talking. And as you can see, the issue with this, if this one goes down, something happens to this guy, everybody's done. But what if we have all these? So if one goes down, we have so many other ways, right? If E is dead, directly if wants to go, this would be the route they can take. They can take, let's say if A, D is gone, this point is gone. So many ways are there. So coming up with the proper topology is very important. Saves you money, saves you from the headache if things go down. So start a topology, and as it says here, right? Topology, we are actually referring to the design or look of the network at hand, how things will look, how the wires will look, and stuff like that, and their advantages and disadvantages. The main premise of a star topology is that devices are individually connected via a central networking device, such as the switch or a hub, the one we talked about, right? In which there is something in the middle that's taking care of all these things. This topology is the most commonly found today because of its reliability and scalability despite the cost. Any information sent to a device in this topology is sent via central device, the hub, to which it connects. Let's explore some of the advantages and disadvantages of this. Because more cabling and purchase of dedicated networking equipment is required for this topology, so you have to buy more wire, copper wire or Ethernet, and then have to buy hub or a switch as well. It's expensive. It's more expensive than any other topology. However, despite the added cost, this does provide most significant advantages. For example, this topology is much more scalable in nature, which means that it is very easy to add more devices as the demand of the network increases. What it means is, let's say, let me delete this. If we have a switch in the middle, right, a networking device in the middle here, and it's connected to all these ones, and tomorrow I came and say, hey, I want to add another one, I can add this as alpha, this as beta. These can be easily added to the network and immediately start talking. Just like, when your Wi-Fi, it's easy to talk if some new device comes. Unfortunately, the more the network cables, the more maintenance is required to keep the network functional. This increases dependency on the maintenance and can also make troubleshooting faults much harder to know which device is causing the issue. Furthermore, a star topology is still prone to a failure, albeit reduced. For example, if the centralized hardware, the hub or the switch itself that connects devices fails, this device will no longer be able to send out data. So basically, any device in the whole topology won't be able to talk to each other. Thankfully, these centralized hardware devices are often robust, so they are very reliable, so we don't have to worry anymore. Bus topology, probably the worst one out there. I hate to even see it, but let's see. This type of connection relies upon single connection, which is known as backbone cable. This type of topology is similar to a leaf of a tree in the sense that the leaves stem from the branches. So basically like a tree, right? Because all data destined for each device travel along the same cable, it is very quickly prone to becoming slow and bottlenecked if the devices within the topology are simultaneously requesting data. This bottleneck also results in very difficult troubleshooting because it quickly becomes difficult to identify which device is experiencing issue with the data all traveling through the same route, right? However, with that being said, bus topologies are one of the easier and more cost-effective topologies to set up because of their expenses, such as cabling or dedicated networking equipment used to connect these devices. Basically, what it means is it's cheap, but you should not do it because it's pretty bad. Mostly, another disadvantage of bus topology is that there is little redundancy in places in case of failure. So let's say in this one, somebody cuts this wire. They are not able to talk to each other. Gone. You don't even know what's happening. And let's say if this one is sending a lot of one, right? Think of it as water, and these as pipes. Like others can't send water if this one is sending so much water into here, right? If the cable went break, devices will no longer receive or transmit data along the bus. Ring 1, we talked about this, right? Ring topology is basically boosts some similarities to also known as token topology. Devices such as computers are connected directly to each other to form a loop. Basically, like this. Again, the issue is like it's cheap, but it's not that good. Because you can't add another one, right? Meaning that there is little cable required and less dependency on dedicated hardware such as star topology. A ring topology works by sending data across the loop until it reaches the destined device, using other devices along the loop to forward the data. Interestingly, a device will only send received data from devices in the topology if uh, it does not have to basically. Oh my god, my brain actually froze for a second. I just put it like this. My ears are hurting. Okay. Another device in this topology, if it does not have any to send itself, if the device happens to have data to send, it will send its own data first before sending data from other devices. So basically, if I say here, right, if we have A, B, C, and D. A wants to send data to C, and this is, let's say, the flow of data movement, right? A wants to send data to C, so how it will work? I'll just go like this. How it will work? Let's say A sends its data first to B, and then B sends it to C. Problem comes, let's say B wants to send data to D. What it will do, it will not send A's data. First it will do is tell C to send data to D. Now that's the problem with this topology, because they want to prefer themselves over others' request, and that's how it works. So what's MERN? Panda, MERN is basically a tech stack. Like, if you want to build a website, there is multiple things required, front end and back end, right? From front end, and that's what it talks about, the technologies that is you going to use. MERN has MongoDB, Express, React, and Node.js for basically the technology they want to use. That's all. Another stack. There are like tens of stacks, so many ways, whichever people like. Everybody have their own preference. But that's it, like just ways to build a technology, right? Yeah. Okay, so let's go here. What is a switch? A switch is basically your router almost. I don't even have to go. Switch are dedicated devices within a network that is designed to aggregate multiple other devices such as computers, printers, and other networking capable devices using Ethernet. Just like your computer is connected to your router through Ethernet or like Wi-Fi, most of them nowadays. But let's say they were all Ethernet. So your router, it becomes a switch. These various devices you plug into a switch port. Switches are usually found in larger networks such as businesses, schools, and similar sized networks, right? Where there is like 10 or 20 of those, or even more, right? Depending on which one it is. Switches can connect a large number of devices by having ports of 4, 8, 16, 24, and 32, and 64 for devices to plug into. Basically, think about this way, right? A port is, you might have actually seen, let me show you switches. You see this image? I don't want to download it. So in this, you see there are so many ports. These are Ethernet ports you might connect to and like go to various places, right? Like one can be connected to your computer, other to your mother's, then to your brother's, and all those, yada yada yada. That's the whole thing. So it can have 4, 8, 16, multiple. Switches are much more efficient than their lesser counterpart, hubs and repeaters. Switches keep track of what devices is connected to their port. All of them are wired though, remember that. This way, when they receive a packet, instead of repeating that packet on every port like a hub would do, it just sends it to the intended target, such as reducing network traffic, right? So it knows where to send the data, right? Instead of like looking, oh, is this you person? Is this you? Is this you? It knows exactly where to send. Both switches and router can be connected to one another. Your home router is a switch as well. The ability to do this increases the redundancy, the reliability of a network by adding multiple parts of for data to take. In one path, if one path goes down, another can be used. Whilst this may reduce the overall performance of the network because packets have to take longer to travel. So what it means is, let's say if we have two, switch and router, you want to have a separate one, it will take time for a packet to travel from switch to router and back and forth, right? So a lot of them just makes it one. There is no downtime. There is no downtime. A smaller price to pay considering the alternative. What is a router's job to? What is a router, right? A router's job is to connect networks and pass data between them. So your router connects to another router, let's say Google's router, to pass data between the Google server or Facebook server to your home server or home computer. Routing it does this by using routing, hence the name router. It's routing the traffic, it's routing the network traffic, just like a like routing of vehicles or parcels and stuff. Routing is the label given to the process of traveling across networks. Routing involves creating a path between networks so that this data can be delivered successfully delivered. Routing is useful when devices are connected by many parts, such as an example below. We have computer A and computer B, right? And router, basically these blue ones you see here, this one, these are all routers. They are connected to each other, so computer A and computer B can talk to each other. Practical. Attached to this task is an interactive practical featuring the discussed LAN topologies. So we have star, bus, right, ring, those type of topologies. Learn about the various ways in which they are vulnerable to breaking. Break the LAN network to retrieve the flag. So we have to break the system, which is I love. Okay. Hopefully you read through this properly, lads. I'm pretty good at it. I'm pretty good at breaking things. Topology flaws. This lab will take you through the flaws in different network topologies. Ring topology, right, we have here. In ring topology, all devices are connected to two other devices to create a full circle. So data is traveling, right? Packets of data travel from one device to the next one until they are reach their destination. One of the major flaws with the ring topology that if one device goes down or a cable is broken, then the data will no longer be passed because it flows in one direction only. If you hover over the middle of the network cable, you can cut it and see what happens to the stuff. So you see I have a scissor turning. Let's break this one. Gone. Can I break more? No, just one. If you hover over the middle, yeah, we did that. The packet can now no longer travel through the network and no devices can talk to each other. It would be better if they had a reverse one, but they don't. Bus one, right? A main path is there. A main highway is there. Bus topology. All devices, let me turn off the caption because it will be hard for you guys to see. Bus topology. With a bus topology, all devices are connected to a single cable, often called the backbone. So this main big one is called backbone. Data is sent both left and right directions, right, of the backbone until the packet's destination is reached. So basically, it's the device might be like here, but it has to send in all the directions, which is kind of wastage of things. Major flaw in the bus topology is that it can't handle a large amount of data. So imagine like this. So much data is going, but it's not that much. In the next step, send packets as quickly as possible to try and take down the network. So computer 1 wants to send to computer 1. Let's see. Doesn't make sense why computer 1 is sending to computer 1. But let's say if it does, this is stupid and every single one, they can't do things. It's all red. Right? Nothing is working. The computer will say, hey, this network is not working. I'm not communicating on it. And that's how it does. And then this is the hub one. This is how things work in the real world. Actually, those two are also used, but only cheap places like UNBC. Star topology. With a star topology, all devices are connected with their own cable to a central hub or switch. Right here. In this, if you see, in bus we had multiple, right, left and right, but switch is smart, so it knows where to send which data. Each packet is sent through the switch, which means the switch goes down, the network will go no longer work. See if you can somehow break the switch. So if you go here, we use a hammer. So if at this point you're just being stupid, you break it, now it's not working. THM topology flaws, lads. That's the flag. Okay, let's do this task, and then because my throat is giving up on me, we'll do task 2, 3, 4, 5, and like other things tomorrow. But let's complete this. What does LAN stand for? LAN is your local area network. What is the verb given to the job of a router? What does router do? What does router do? Why it got its name, right? Because it's routing. Routing the traffic, where the data goes, what is the flow should be, and stuff like that. What device is used to centrally connect multiple devices on a local network and transmit data to current location? So basically, what is a device used for basically put in the star topology, kind of? Which device helps in connection? Switch. What topology is the cost effective to set up? Most cheapest one. Also called the worst one in my opinion. Bus topology. What topology is expensive to set up and maintain? Star one, because you are buying a whole new device, right, to do things. And that's it. Let's see what this one. Subnetting is a interesting topic, but I will leave it for today. So tomorrow we have this. ARP and DHCP both are important protocols and important commands at the same time to use. If we do this tomorrow, and OSI we can cover how things work, which is very important for a hacker. Packets and frames and extending your network. So I think we can cover this completely tomorrow. Not much here. Let's see. Packets and frames. Yeah, TCP, UDP, ports 101. OSI model, the next one. Layer 1. Every layer is being talked about here, which is good to know. But you will, you just, once you start playing with the Wireshark, like the videos I put, you will become very good with it. Firewalls and stuff. Okay. And now we have, after this, we have how the web works, which is interesting. This is a very interesting one. Might take like another day, like Monday or something. Linux will take a good amount of days because we will cover a good amount of information here, and good amount of notes can be made in Linux. And we'll play some games too with this. There are some games which are just dedicated to Linux and interesting things. And Windows fundamentals, I never did this, so we'll see. But yeah, lads, hopefully you guys learned some good stuff today, right? And yeah, thank you so much for all the messages. Let me know how I can improve my how I can improve things in better ways. My stream, whichever you guys like me to do. And till then, thank you. This is my Discord. Do join if you have any questions or feedbacks from me. And I come online all the time, so yeah. But till then, thank you so much. Feel free to let me know if you have any concerns, questions, any request you would like me to do, because the whole penetration testing one came like that, right? So if you have any requests me to do anything in future you want me to do, any topic you want me to cover, we can put that. But soon we'll be doing how the web works, how the hacking works, how the Linux works and Windows, to learn from a hacker's foundation for our certificate. But yeah, till then, thank you so much. Have a great day, right? And tomorrow will be bigger one because I don't have work on Saturdays, so we can cover more. But till then, thank you. Really appreciate all the messages, any request, right? And looking forward to seeing you tomorrow. Thank you, and like usual, as I say, bye. Have a good one, lads.